Alright, here we go. Time for another review, and as you can see, I've finally been able to get back outside to finally do another review. I've been kind of stuck inside lately with the way the weather has been. I mean, as you can see, it's still kind of cloudy at the moment, but the rain is holding off right now, so I thought I'll try and quickly get in a review in my natural habitat. So yeah, just a few things to begin with. If you have not yet done so, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up for the video as well. All these things help the channel grow and get the videos out to more and more people. And today I figured I will review a classic scotch, and that's the Lagavulin. Now this is the Lagavulin 12-year-old, so maybe not necessarily a classic scotch, but definitely a classic distillery. Lagavulin is definitely one of those, Lagavulin is definitely one of those whiskies that I absolutely love. They are one of my favorite Islay distilleries, and surprisingly, considering about the 3 years that I've been doing these videos for, I have not yet actually reviewed a Lagavulin. So I'm going to break that, and I'm going to be doing my first Lagavulin review. So I figured, why not start off with the Lagavulin 12-year-old, the 2021 edition. So let's pour some of this into the glass. As I mentioned, this is the Lagavulin 12-year-old, the 2021 edition. It is cask strength, bottled at 56.5% ABV, obviously aged 12 years. It is made up of refill American oak casks. Now, I am not too sure about coloring and chill filtration, but considering that this is a Diageo release and nothing is like printed on the labels or anything, I'm going to assume that it's being played around with, but that's okay. It's not really affecting the taste of the whiskey, but yeah, it would just be nice to have that little bit of extra information. But before getting into the review, I mean, just look at that. That is just some beautiful artwork right there. Absolutely stunning. But yeah, okay, that's enough. We're here to talk about the whiskey, not the packaging. So let's see what we get. We'll get started on the nose. So cheers. Okay, so it's this instant seaside campfire. It's ashy, as typical as Lagavulin is. I always get that ashy note when it comes to Lagavulin. There is this really nice, gentle seaside brine that comes along as well. Obviously peated, and one thing that we love about Islay malts is just that intensity of peat. Now it is slightly medicinal, but not as much as, say, like a Lafroig. This is more of a foresty style smoke and peat that's coming through. Very earthy, also quite salty as well on the nose. I'm starting to get a touch of apple. Also some citrus is starting to come in, so I'm getting like a fresh orange zest. Very weak honey. It's quite grainy as well. I'm getting quite a lot of like a cereal note. Kind of cornflakey. Touch of peanut. Also some stewed raisins. Dried apricot. It does have quite a fruity nose to it, which is not something that you would naturally expect for an Islay scotch. But again, I just love the way the smoke and the peat just mingle in with those flavors. It's not there to dominate, but it's just accenting everything perfectly. All right, let's move along to the palate and see what we get. So again, cheers. Beautiful mouthfeel, not too thick but not too thin either, but it is very dry. But it is amazing to be able to feel how that dryness quickly dissipates into like a syrup, and then you just start salivating. It's almost like holding a piece of ice on your tongue. First you feel like the hardness of the ice, and then it just melts. It's pretty much the way, probably the easiest way to describe this. You start off with this really dry texture, and then everything just becomes wet after that. A little bit of a prickle, but again, considering the strength of this, that's only natural. A little bit of water will tame that a bit, but considering the strength, this is a very easy to drink whiskey. Let's see, very smoky, a lot of intense smoke. I would have to say that it is definitely a lot smokier than the standard 16-year-old, but at the same time I feel that the peat isn't as intense on this. Yeah. I would have to say that, going off the top of my head, the standard 16-year-old does feel a bit peatier, but I wouldn't say it's a big drastic difference, but yeah, definitely a little bit more peatier on the standard 16-year-old. But again, that's just what I'm getting. As I was getting on the nose, very ashy. It definitely has a very ashy taste to it, a lot of charcoal. And again, but this time you do get more of that coastal salinity influence coming through on the taste, rather than a foresty smoky burn. This is definitely a lot saltier, a lot more maritime. You definitely have like that seaside breeze coming on. It is surprisingly quite salty, but once you get past that, that's when the fruitiness really starts to come through. Again, you get those apples, more of that orange zest, kind of going into a bit more like an orange juice profile. It has a bit more of a sweetness rather than a sourness. Then again, that honey note is definitely there, and more of that cereal grain influence. It's also quite oaky, considering, well, I don't know how many times these casks have been refilled, but you are still getting quite a lot of oak influence coming in. More vanilla, caramel, and like black pepper spice coming in. Moving along to the finish, it's just smoke. Just lots and lots of smoke coming up. Also hints of peat coming through. I would say though that the finish is a lot sweeter though than the nose and the palate. I'm getting more of that honey and vanilla influence coming up, kind of like a smoked toffee kind of thing. Yeah, definitely kind of like a smoky toffee apple. I think that's probably the easiest way to describe the flavor that I'm getting. And then you just get these gentle prickles of like black pepper spice, and also chili. That is actually one tasting note that is mentioned on the tin, that there is like a hit of chili spice that comes through. I did notice that on the palate when I was tasting this beforehand, but I wasn't getting it so much now. It is coming more on the finish for me at the moment. But obviously, as you play around with the whiskey and say different times of day, etc., etc., different elements of the whiskey are obviously going to shine through. But I'm glad that chili spice is still coming through on the finish. I think at the moment that's really all I have to say about this. Since this is the first Lagavulin whiskey that I have reviewed on the channel so far, I do have more available, so if Lagavulin is a distillery that interests you, stay in touch with the channel. I do have a few more videos to come out that will be featuring some Lagavulin whiskies. I have kind of pulled them back from the shelf, so they're a little bit more in reach. So yeah, expect to see some more Lagavulin reviews coming your way. So as you all know, my name is Andrew. This is Prestige Liquids. I will see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS. Oh, you're still here. Well, why not consider continuing on with some more content and subscribing? I'll see you next time. Bye bye.